Okay, last video for this chapter and for the 2 chapters that we need for our next exam. So this is our last video. If there's anything that you have struggled with on anything from the past chapter or this one, please get with me. I'm here to support you in getting through this class. Look at me as a facilitator and a support system for you, as opposed to, you know, a bitch with a great book. So utilize me. You've paid for me. Hey, all right, let's move on. Maybe. There we go. In the last section, you learned about payout annuities. In this section, you will learn about conventional loans, also called amortized loans or installment loans. So you'll hear of something like maybe, well, you probably will never hear of an amortization statement, but amortized just means that it's paid on an individual, like installments, basically. That's why installment loans comes up here as well. Examples include auto loans and home mortgages. These techniques do not apply to payday loans, add-on loans, or other loan types where the interest is calculated up front. So those are the money laundering or the sharks or the we buy gold people. They've got payday loans as well. Okay. So one great thing about loans is that they use exactly the same formula as a payout annuity. So you're not having to learn a new formula. You're just going to have to learn that the concepts are a little bit reversed. Bear with me. So let's talk about it. You take out a 5-year installment loan to purchase a new vehicle. So it's just an auto loan. All right. Your monthly payment is fixed at $485.22 for those 5 years, after which you will have paid off the loan in full. So here's the question. Will a larger proportion of your payment go towards your principal, year 1 of the loan, or year 4 of the loan? So let's start. We got to go backwards a little bit, because many of you have not purchased cars before, so you don't understand this concept. I mean, you understand, go get a loan to get a car, but in what way? Let's start with, especially if you're buying your first car, they're going to want a down payment more than likely. So you're going to have to bring money when you go in to purchase a vehicle. You're not going to just walk out of there with, hey, I'll owe you in 30 days. You're going to have to bring money for a down payment. Okay. So that will be usually a certain percentage of the amount of the vehicle itself. That's for everything. Then the rest of the money that you owe for that vehicle is going to go into an auto loan or a vehicle loan or an installment loan for either 5, now they're offering 6 and 7 year loans, potentially even more, I think I've heard recently. But why? Why would they want to stretch it out over that period of time? Well, the reasoning is because the longer you owe them money, the more interest they receive. And when they tell you how much you're actually paying per month, that's what you're thinking about is, hey, how can I fit this into my budget? As opposed to thinking about the number where in front of the years, where it says 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. That's where the magic happens, because yeah, 485.22 might sound feasible for some of you, but for how long? How long do you want to pay for it? How much do you really want to pay for that car? All right, so let's keep going. So when are we going to pay the most interest, or most towards the principal? When you're first buying your loan, getting your loan, they're calculating their interest as you go along. So every time you get your statement, there'll be interest calculated in with that. It's called amortized, where it's spread out over those 5 years. And excuse me 1 second. Sorry. Maybe. Okay, sorry about that. So if you think about this, you owe the most money on the vehicle at the beginning of the loan, right? So in the early parts of the loan. So you're paying more interest at that point and less on principal in comparison than you are paying once you get to the end of the loan. At the end of the 5 years, you've already paid for the majority of the car, and all that you have left is a little bit more of the car. And so you're paying more towards the car than you are in interest because it's a smaller number. You owe less, so there's less interest that you're having to pay on the vehicle. And so that's the way you need to think of it. You owe more at the beginning. What's the question? The larger proportion of your payments are going towards principal. Okay, so you owe more at the beginning. You owe less in the end. You pay more in interest at the beginning, and you pay more on principal at the end of the loan. So you're going to pay more on principal in year 4 than you are in year 1. And you're going to pay more in interest on year 1 than you do in year 4. I hope that helps. Not a lot that I need to really write here. It's just kind of a conversation. If you can think of something else that may help you, let's work on it. Maybe. There we go. All right, so here's your loan formula. It's also your annuity formula with just a smidge difference. Well, no, they're doing piece of knot as well. Okay, so here's the only difference really. The piece of knot in this case is the balance in the account at the beginning. So it's the amount that you're taking out in your loan. And it's the loan balance in the beginning. So it's your starting amount, your principal, and then the PMT is the amount that you're making in payments towards that loan. So usually it's monthly payments, but sometimes it could be bi-monthly payment, or is it bi-weekly? I don't remember. It's twice a month, or you could, basing it on your paychecks, maybe once a year. I don't know who would really do that. Definitely not for vehicles. R is your annual interest rate at decimal format. N is the number of compounding periods in 1 year. So just like with the loan formula and the annuity formula and compound interest formula, the N, okay, not really, is the number of times that you are making your payments. So how often are you making your payments? Are you making your payments monthly? Then your N would be 12. If you're making your payments annually, then your N would be 1, quarterly, 4, and so on. We've talked about this before. T is the number of years that you plan to borrow the money for whatever loan it is. And it's in years. All right. Oh, that is in the way. Hold up. And maybe this guy. All right, so like before, the compounding frequency is not always explicitly given. So it's determined by how often your payments are made. Just what I discussed. Okay. All right. When do you use the loan formula? If the word loan is in the sentence, that's pretty much a dead giveaway. You're going to use the loan formula. All right. A lot of you want words. That's the word. If you want to understand the concept, if the word loan is not necessarily used, you need to understand these other 3 so that it will help you, decipher which one it is. Okay. So compound interest is 1 deposit. Remember, it's 1 deposit in, you let it sit there, earn an interest. It just compounds. Okay. Annuity is when you're putting in many deposits into an account for later use. Pardon me. So annuity is many deposits. So you're making many payments into something for you. Payout annuity is when you're sucking that money back out of that account that you have put deposits into, okay, or somebody did. And then loans are you are making payments, but not to something that you're going to benefit monetarily from later, but to pay for something that you wanted to have, whether it be a house, a car, things like that. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions on that. All right, let's shift back down now. Let me over. All right, Abigail can afford $200 per month as a car payment if she can get an auto loan of 3% interest for 60 months, 5 years. How expensive of a car can she afford? In other words, what amount loan can Abigail pay off with $200 per month? Okay, so they're wanting to know what her piece of knot is, what the principal is, or the original amount of the loan would be. Okay. Well, let's just get started. So I'm going to write the formula first. So we have that. Oh gosh, hold on. Feisty. No, is that it? No, it's too far. No, okay. So I'm just going to write P. Oh, red. Okay. So feisty. P is equal to PMT, which is the amount you're going to be paying into the loan. Open parenthesis, 1 minus 1 plus R over N to the negative NT, just like the fiat annuity, divided by R over N. Okay, so let's do an original P, PMT, RNT. Okay. Abigail can afford $200 per month. That's her payment. $200 per month, and it's 12. If she can get an auto loan for 3%, that's her rate. In decimal form is 0.03 for 60 months, 5 years. Just because the number is in the sentence doesn't mean you have to use it. Okay. And I know a lot of you are like, oh my gosh, we've got 2 numbers here. What the heck am I supposed to do with them? You only use one of them. Okay. Because T is represented in years. Okay. So you're only going to use the 5. The reason they wrote 60 months is because that's usually how they phrase it, as opposed to 5 years. For some reason, people think of in months as actually a smaller, as opposed to years, they think of as more grandiose. So typically auto sales people will say something like, oh, it's only a 60-month loan or a 72-month loan because it seems much smaller than 6 or 7, 5, 6, 7 years. All right, so let's plug this in. The amount for the loan, it's $200 payments we're trying to do. You can do this yourself, is 0.03 divided by however many, 12, that's monthly payments, negative, open parenthesis, negative 12 times 5, that's the number of years you want to make your payments, and 0.03 over 12. All right, with that, the calculator. All right, I'm going to start with the 200, open parenthesis, 1 minus, open parenthesis, 1 plus, 0.03 divided by 12, close parenthesis, exponent, open parenthesis, negative 12 times 5, close parenthesis again, divided by, open parenthesis, 0.03 divided by 12, close parenthesis, and equals. That's a lot. So the amount of loan Abigail can afford, Abigail, if I'm saying her name right, Abigail can afford, a car loan of $11,130.47. That's it. All right. What is the total amount she paid for the car? Okay, well, total payment is PMT times N times T. So $200 per month for 5 years. It's 12 grand. So Abigail paid $12,000, 2, 3, for the car. Okay. And the last question, and this is going to be just like your exam. I'm going to set it up the same way. 5 points for the first question we answered, 3 points for the one we just answered, and then 2 points for this last one, which is how much of the total payment is interest. Interest for a loan is equal to the PMT, the total payments. So you're looking at this, total payments minus P. Okay. And so for us, our total payments were 12 grand minus total her loan was $11,130.47. So 12 grand minus $11,130.47. So she paid $869.53 in interest. Now, how do I think of interest? Interest is just the money that you're paying them in order to let you pay the car out over a period of time. That's the money that they're making off of you because you couldn't come up with the money and just pay it off outright. So you need to understand that when you go through to do this, that interest can be huge. It can be huge, especially if you go to a used auto place. The interest rate is a lot higher, and people just talk about the numbers like the 14% or 10%, but they're not calculating what the interest actually is monetarily, because it's easier for us to think about it monetarily, and it's more impactful. So try to think of it more that way as opposed to your interest rate. All right, let's go to the next one. You want to take out a $140,000 mortgage, a home loan. The interest rate on the loan is 6% and the loan is for 30 years. How much will your monthly payments be? So we're looking for our PMT here. All right, so I'm going to rewrite. I don't want red. Oh, obnoxious. I like purple with blue today. It's been snowing. And now it's melted. Okay. You want to take $140,000. So let's go with writing it again. P equals PMT, open parenthesis, 1 minus open, 1 plus R over N to the negative NT, close over R over N. Okay, I'm going to do this. P, PMT, RNT. So you want to take out a loan for $140,000. That is your P, 1, 2, 3, or P sub naught. The interest rate on the loan is 6%. So your rate is 0.06 in decimal format. The loan is for 30 years. What else? How much will your monthly payments be? So N is equal to 12. All right, we're looking for PMT. So I'm just going to plug these in here. 140 grand, 2, 3 is equal to PMT 0.06 over 12 raised to the negative 12 times 30, close minus, oh, not nice. Using the annuity. Don't want to mess anyone up here. So close big parenthesis over 0.06 over 12. All right, calculator. I'm going to start on the right-hand side of the PMT. So open parenthesis, 1 minus, open parenthesis, 1 plus, 0.06 divided by 12, close parenthesis, exponent, open parenthesis, negative 12 times 30. Yeah, close parenthesis, close another parenthesis, divided by, open parenthesis, 0.06 divided by 12, close parenthesis, and equals. Stop there. You're not done. That's not your payment. That's just the right-hand side. Do not erase this number in the calculator if you have the answer key. Or if you don't have it, you're going to need to write down the 166.7916144. Do not round that number, please. You have to keep that number for the next step. At this point, you're going to type in, leave the number in the calculator, 140,000, 2, 3, divided by second answer and equals. And that is your monthly payment on your house for 30 years. So how much will you pay? Your monthly payments will be, your monthly payments will be $839.37 for 30 years. Whew, it's a long time. Next part, how much will you pay in total for the house? So total pay, so PMT, times 39.37. You paid 839. You've got to retype it in because it has to be rounded. You can't leave all those other numbers. 839.37 times 12 times 30, and that is 302,000. So you paid $302,173.20 for your house. But your original loan for your house was $140,000. Okay. Your original loan for your house, the amount that you took out in your loan was $140,000. But you paid $302,173.20. So how much did the bank make off of you for letting you take that time to pay it off? Okay. So let's calculate that. That's the total interest. That's your last one. How much of the total amount paid is interest? So the bank fees basically. And the interest is total paid minus the piece of, I'll just put piece of knot for you. So total paid was $302,173.20, and you're going to subtract the $140,000 for the original loan. So they made, you paid, this hurts, $162,173.20 in interest. Really like that, Mike. I That hurts. Man, that hurts bad. So you paid $162,000 above, along with that $140,000 that you originally borrowed. That hurts. All right, let's look at this next one. Example 12, you want to take out 140 grand mortgage. Okay, the interest rate 6%, the loan's for 30 years. Your monthly payments are, and they tell us what our monthly payments are, how much will still be owed after making payments for 10 years. I got to think about this one for a second. I'm going to pause. I haven't done this one, so I'm going to think about it. It's been a while since I've done this one. Pausing. Okay, I had to think through that one for a second. It's been a little bit. All right, so let's think about this. You want to take out $140,000 home loan. Interest rate, I'm just going to write up the letters. That actually helped me see what was happening here. So P is 140,000. 1, 2, 3. The PMT is $839.38. RNT, the rate is 6%. The N is monthly, so 12, and T is for 30 years. Okay, that's for the whole loan, right? But they want to know how much is still owed after making payments for 10 years. So our T in this case, I'm going to think about as 10. Okay, hear me out on this. I'm going to ignore my P, my PMT right now. I'm going to see how much P would be if I just took in consideration. I'm going to write this all out for you. PMT, 1 minus, this is just the loan formula, 1 minus 1 plus R over N to the negative NT divided by R over N. Okay, so I'm ignoring the 140,000 and I'm going to solve for P. 839.38 times 1 minus 1 plus 0.06 over 12 raised to the negative 12, putting that parenthesis because I always forget it, times 10, because I'm basing it on the 10 years that they're asking about. Close parenthesis, and then all that's divided by 0.06 over 12. All right, whip out the calculators. So I'm going to start with the $839.38, 839.38. Open parenthesis, 1 minus, open parenthesis, 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12, close parenthesis, raise it to the exponent, open parenthesis, negative 12 times 10, close parenthesis again, divided by, open parenthesis, 0.06 divided by 12, close parenthesis, and equals. All right, this is telling me that my P would be $75,605.86. You round this, okay? I'm kind of working backwards here. It's like a puzzle. And if you get one like this, if you follow my steps, it's going to work, okay? So I just ignored my P, solved for P with the rest of the information that was given. And I ended up with $75,605.86. Okay. So the question is, how much was paid off of the original mortgage? Okay. So how much was actually paid? Let's go with that. Total payments. So we know total payments, because that's not total payments. Total payments would be PMT times N times T, times 12 times 10. It's the number of years it's been paid on. So 839.38 times 12 times 10. So the total payments made is total pay. Oh, stinker. Hold on. Total payments, EMT is equal to $100. I'm sorry, $100,725.60. That's the total payments made on the loan for the first 10 years, right? So to find out what the total interest that was, or the total principal is, we need to find out the difference between the two to find out what that is. So we have to take that 100,000. My mind's trying to do too many things at one time. I'm so sorry. So let's just use the eraser. 10, 725.60, and I'm going to subtract the P. So it's total payments minus P is the next step. So minus 75,000 $605.86. And I got $25,119.74. That is the principal that was paid on the loan. That's the amount of principal that comes off of the original loan. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Total amount left on the loan. Total amount left on loan is, you're going to take the original amount of the loan is equal to P minus this number here, which is the total principal on the loan, which you have to find by using total paid minus the P from right here. That was for 10 years. So this is the original P. We'll call it P sub naught, because that's why they probably call it a P sub naught, is because that's the original balance on the loan. All right, which is up here. Minus the 25,000. So minus the $25,119.74. So I'm going to take 14119.74. This will tell me how much is still left on the loan. So 140,000 minus answer equals. You still owe. Oh, I don't know what does that. You still owe. Last slide, and it has to be a stinker. What in the world does it do? It is losing its mind. It's done. All right. You still owe. Gosh, just get this out, guys. $114,880 on the 10 paying. Okay, so after 10 years of paying on a $140,000 loan, you still owe $114,880.26. Okay, we'll go over it in class. Oh, stick of work, Demi. I'm done. Keep hitting the escape key. Feeling feisty today. When I created this, I was feeling really feisty. All right, now I'm gone. One more chapter. So exciting.